Hello everyone and welcome. This is our second session of High 1, Unit 2. God willing, this session will be covering page 40, a page of our magazine, the grammar box on page 16, and the vocabulary chart on page 70. Well, let's just get started. May I ask you to go to page 40, please? Okay, so page 40, our magazine. Okay, yes, here you are. So, on page 40, everyone, we'll be discussing some tricky words. Tricky words. Tricky means difficult to deal with, difficult to understand, kind of problematic. All right? So, page 40, tricky words. The first pair we'll be discussing, we have all right and all right. Well, everyone, these two words have the same pronunciation and the same meanings. However, the first one is considered natural English, while the second one, spelled as one word, is kind of non-standard and casual and informal. So let's see. All right, or the same again as I told you, spelled as two words or as one word. So all right has a range of meanings, including, so it has a group of meanings. It has different meanings, such as safe. So it means safe, as in, are you all right? Are you safe? So meaning one. Number two, it can mean reliable, good. Remember, reliable, dependable, opposite of unreliable. So reliable or good. As in, that fellow is all right. That person, that guy is reliable, sounds, looks dependable. As an adverb, so all right can be an adverb, everyone. As an adverb, it means satisfactorily, as in his work is coming along all right. Remember, satisfactory as an adjective means acceptable. Satisfactory means acceptable. The opposite is unsatisfactory. So, satisfactorily, which is an adverb, means in an acceptable way, in a satisfactory way. So, his work is coming along all right. His work is satisfactory. Next meaning, it means yes, as in, all right, I'll go with you. Okay, I'll go with you. Yes, I'll go with you. So you see different meanings. Well, the form all right, with the same pronunciation, is a one-word spelling of the phrase all right. So one word and two words. All right is the only accepted form in edited writing. So this is formal English, all right as two words. And all right as one word is considered kind of casual. Basically, it's not all right to use all right in standard English. So remember not to use the second one in standard and academic English. Okay. Next pair, everyone, we have economic versus economical. So economic versus economical. Everyone, both words are adjectives. Okay, so both are adjectives. Let's see. Economic and economical are adjectives. Economic means related to trade, industry, or money. So economic is related to business, trade. For example, the economic forecast for next year is not good. Unfortunately, in our country, we can say the economic forecast for next year is not good. It means we will have poor economy next year. Business isn't going to improve. Or the president spoke mostly about economic policy, his economic plans. Well, the form economical, everyone, means not using a lot of money, not wasting something. For example, hybrid cars are very economical. Everyone, hybrid cars, they use both gas and another type of energy. For example, solar energy. In our country, hybrid cars run on CNG or gasoline. So we call them hybrid cars. So these cars are economical, which means they don't cost a lot of money to run. You don't have to spend a lot of money on gas, for example. Solar energy for your home is expensive in the short term, in the short run, but it is more economical in the long term, in the long run. So it is economical. Well, remember, economic means related to business. We say مربوط به اقتصاد or اقتصادی, while economical means not wasting time, money or energy. با صرفه، مقرون به صرفه. Sorry to translate them, but in our classes I see students just confuse these two words so often. Okay, next pair, everyday and everyday. So you see, everyone, the first one is spelled as two separate words. So it is an adverb. You use it, you see it in simple present. For example, you go to school every day, you watch movies every day, your mom does the cooking every day. The second one, every day, spelled as one word, is an adjective, everyone. For example, everyday problems, everyday situation. Yeah? So, every day and every day. Well, every day is an adjective meaning ordinary, usual, routine, typical. So, this is an adjective. It is not the same as the adverbial expression every day. So this is an adverb. Compare. In everyday life, in ordinary life, in routine life, you don't often find an elephant in a supermarket. You don't see elephants every day. So, everyone, the second one, every day as an adjective means روزانه, روزمره. But while the first one means هر روز. Again, sorry to translate, but I had no choice because in our classes I see students just confuse them. Okay, now hope everything was just crystal clear. Now, back to page 16, everyone. Page 16, grammar box, subject, verb, agreement. Everyone, here we're going to discuss some quantifiers. Here you can see a list of quantifiers. Take a listen. We say a majority of or the majority of, yeah, which means most of. So a majority of or the majority of means most of. A number of means several or a lot of. Next one is a lot of. Next, plenty of or plenty of. Plenty of, everyone, means a large amount of, a large number of, many of. We have all of, we have some of, a few of or few of, several of, and none of, or we say not any. By the way, everyone, so these are quantifiers. By the way, what is a quantifier? Remember, a quantifier is a word or phrase which is used before a noun to indicate the amount or quantity, to indicate number. For example, when I say there are some books on the desk, there are some books on the desk, our quantifier is some. For which noun? For books. Or let me just type them down here so that you can see the words. Okay, just a minute. All right. Yes. So, everyone, here, when I say there are, sorry, okay, yes. So, when I say there are some books on the desk, yes, here, some is our quantifier and our noun is books. Okay, so some books. Or he's got only a few dollars. He has got, or he has only a few dollars. You see, a few is a quantifier for the noun dollars. Because dollars is countable, we use a few. How much money have you got? Money is uncountable, so we use the quantifier much. Or there is a large quantity of fish. There is a lot of fish in the river. Or he's got more friends than his sister. These are all examples of quantifiers. Okay? So, we use these quantifiers, everyone, with plural countable nouns. Plural countable nouns. Which means our verb should be plural. Okay? So one more time, we use these quantifiers with plural countable nouns, which means our verbs should be plural. Check out the examples. Examples. Few of the apartments are empty at this time of the year. So, our noun is apartments, the apartments. Our quantifier is few or few of. As you can see, our verb is plural. Are is plural. Next one. All of the guests have gone to the concert in the park. So, our noun is guests, which is a plural noun. Our quantifier is all of. And our verb have gone is plural. Next one. A majority of people believe that their salaries are not enough. So, everyone, our noun is people. The quantifier is a majority of, or the majority of, most of. And our verb believe is plural. Okay? Now, some other examples. For example, the majority of workers find it quite hard to live on the amount of money they earn. The majority of workers find. You see, workers is plural, find is plural. Or the number of people killed in traffic accidents has fallen. Or all of students now are in different Facebook groups. Or plenty of boys are interested in sports. Okay, so check out the note. The number of plus a plural noun plus singular verb. Okay? For example, the number of books in the library has risen to over 5 million. Okay? So, just a minute. I'm just typing some sentences for you. Okay, so yes, here we go. Well, everyone, the number of is different from a number of. Okay, so the number of is different from a number of. So the number of and a number of. Okay, so check out the examples. The number of people killed in traffic accidents has fallen. So we say the number of plus a plural verb, but our plural noun, sorry, I'm so sorry. So the number of plus a plural noun, but our verb should be singular. Another example, the number of students in the class is 10, for example. You see, is, our verb is singular. The number of students. Everyone, the number of means تعداد, okay? The number of students in the class is 10. But when we say a number of, it means a lot of. Don't confuse them, please. So, a lot of. For example, we say a small number of children. You see, our noun is plural, but the verb must be plural with a number of. So a small number of children are educated at home. A small number. Or here, a large number of, or a number of invitations have been sent. Again, our verb here should be plural. All right? So, the number of people, the number of boys, the number of farmers, we say is increasing, has risen, has fallen. But when we say a number of, which means a lot of, we use a plural countable noun. A number of people, a number of boys, a number of students are here, were here, have arrived, have left. A plural verb. Okay? Well, crystal clear, I hope. Well, the next group, again, you can see a list of quantifiers. The difference between group A, everyone, I mean this group, and group B, this group. Here, we have quantifiers which are used with uncountable nouns. Let's take a look. We have the majority of, which means most of. We have any of, a lot of, plenty of, all of, some of, none of. You can add a little of, or little of, or very little of. So these quantifiers, guys, are used with uncountable nouns, which means the verb should be singular because our noun is uncountable. The examples: none of the equipment appears to be damaged. So our noun is equipment, our quantifier is none of. And as you can see, the verb appears is singular. Second one, the majority of world's population lives in cities. Our noun is population, or to be exact, world's population. Our quantifier, the majority of, and the verb is singular. The last one, none of the bread in the box was fresh. You know, fresh, we have fresh air, fresh fruit, fresh bread, of stale. So, the noun is bread, bread in the box, the main noun is bread. The quantifier none of, and our verb is was, which is singular. Some other examples. For example, the majority of money was wasted recklessly. Most of money was wasted. Or a lot of water is used in agriculture. A lot of water is used. Or plenty of equipment was purchased for the hospital, was bought for the hospital. Or some information was inaccurate, was wrong, was not precise. Or none of his advice was useful. Or all of the money raised was donated to charities. All right? Well, micro practice. Choose the correct answer. Number one, a lot of houses has or have collapsed in the storm. Collapse, everyone, means come down, get destroyed. So, our noun is houses and the quantifier is a lot of. Remember, because houses is a plural countable noun, the correct answer is have. So, a lot of houses have collapsed. Number two, the majority of money for the charity were given by celebrities. You know, charity is an organization that helps the poor, and celebrities or celeb, a famous person, a movie star, I don't know, a singer, a writer, painter. So, the noun is money, everyone. Our quantifier is the majority of, most of. So, since our noun is uncountable, the correct answer should be was given. Was given. Number three, plenty of mangoes and bananas is available this season. Plenty of means a lot of. Mango is a kind of fruit. So, because mangoes and bananas are plural countable nouns, the correct answer should be are available. Number four, several of the field hockey players also belong to the track team. You know, field hockey means hockey played on grass. So, our noun is field hockey players, which is a plural countable noun. Several of, everyone, is used with a plural countable noun. It means our verb should be plural. Belong is the correct answer. Number five, none of my free time is or are spent on watching TV. Well, the noun is free time, which is an uncountable noun, and our quantifier is none of. So, because the noun is uncountable, the correct answer is spent. This is the correct answer, is spent. The last one, few of my friends are interested in physics. So our noun is friends, my friends. The quantifier, few of. The noun is plural. It's a plural countable noun. And the correct answer, are interested. Are interested. Well, welcome to page 17. Vocabulary. 2A. Study the words, derivatives, and collocations. You see, we have some categories here. We have verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and collocations. So, first of all, let's check out the correct pronunciation. First, I'm going to read out the words. I'd like you to take a listen and practice the correct pronunciation at home. Then we'll be discussing the meanings, and finally, I'm going to provide you with some examples. Now, look at the words and take a listen, please, everyone. Okay, here we go. The word separate, separate, separation, separation, separatist, separatist, separate, separate. Well, everyone, please pay attention. You see, as a verb, it is separate, eight. As an adjective, it is separate, separate. Don't confuse them, please. So, one more time. Separate, inseparable, inseparable, separable, separable, separably, separably, inseparably, inseparably. Assume, assume, assumption, assumption, assumed, assumed. Mechanize, mechanize, mechanism, mechanism, mechanized, mechanized, mechanical, mechanical, mechanically, mechanically, mechanistically, mechanistically. Wow, wow, wow. Commit, commit, commitment, commitment, committed, committed, uncommitted, uncommitted, non-committal, non-committal. Randomness, randomness, random, random, randomly, randomly. Leash, leash, unleash, unleash, leash. Measure, measure, measurement, measurement, measure, measure. Measurable, measurable, immeasurable, immeasurable. Measureless, measureless. Measurably, measurably, immeasurably, immeasurably. Revenge, revenge, revenge. Well, that's it. By the way, remember to practice them at home because correct pronunciation is really important. It is a key in language learning. Okay, Now, let's check out the meanings. Well, separate means when we separate two things or two places, we just put them, divide them so that they are not touching each other. So we separate them. The noun form is separation, separation, which means when something is separate or separates. Separatist, everyone, separatist as a noun refers to a person. It means someone who belongs to a group that wants to start a new country with its own government by separating the country that they belong to. So a separatist is a person. Then the adjective form, separate, separate, means different, not together, separate. The adverb can be separately, separately. Then we have the adjectives separable and inseparable, which are opposites, everyone. So separable means two things that are separable can be separated. That's separable. The opposite is inseparable. When we say things or people are inseparable, it means they are always together, they are with each other, and they are very friendly. Well, the collocations, we separate something or someone from something or someone. We separate something into something. We have sharply, totally, widely separated. They have the same meaning, everyone. Sharply, totally, widely separated. A lot. Complete or total separation. Complete or total. And we have physical separation. Forcibly, everyone, means using physical force. Forcibly, using physical force. Legally means according to the law. Legally separated. Now, some example sentences. For example, separate something from something. The lighthouse is separated from the land by a wide tunnel. Or separate from. At this point, the satellite separates from its launcher. Or separate something into something. We separate the students into 4 groups. Or these 2 branches of the science have now become clearly separated. Or one cannot easily separate moral, social, and political issues. Or it was impossible to separate the fans. Or we separate the boys from girls. I separated the documents into 2 files. Or for sharply or totally, widely separated, we can say the disciplines of science and engineering are not always sharply, widely separated. The 2 groups became widely separated. Or she is separated from her husband. For separation, everyone, we can say the separation of church and state. We have separation between. The zone of separation between the two sides, or separatist. He is a separatist. Remember, separatist is a person who thinks they should belong to a group or to start a new country. Then separate, separate as an adjective. We can say use separate knives for raw and cooked meat. Use different knives for them. Or my wife and I have separate bank accounts. Our bank accounts are different. For separately, as an adverb, they did arrive together, but I think they left separately. Not together, separately. Separable, which the opposite was inseparable. Physical health is not always easily separable from mental health. For inseparable, we can say Jane and Sarah soon became inseparable companions. Or Tom was inseparable from his dog Snowy. Or Britain's economic fortunes are inseparable from the world situation. And the adverb is inseparably. Well, these two causes are inseparably linked. Well, enough examples, I hope. All right, next we have assume, assumption, and assumed. Well, everyone, assume means to think that something is true. Assume. As a synonym, we can say presume. It means presume. The noun form is assumption, which means something you think is true. Assumption. And finally, assumed, the adjective, means not true or not real. Now, check out the collocations. Reasonably or widely assume that. Well, reasonably means logically, rationally, if you remember. So rationally, reasonable, reasonably, widely assume that. Key or hidden, secret assumption. Commonly held, many people believe in it, commonly held, or erroneous assumption. Erroneous means incorrect, everyone. Erroneous assumption. A number of, a series of, or a set of assumptions, a group of assumptions. We make an assumption or we accept an assumption, and on the assumption that. Now, example time. So, assume. I didn't see your car, so I assumed that you had gone out. I thought that. Or, it seems reasonable to assume that the book was written around 1990. Or I think we can safely assume that interest rates will go up again soon. Assumption, the noun form. A lot of people make the assumption that poverty only exists in the third world. A false assumption. Or my calculations were based on the assumption that house prices would remain steady. Another one, people make a lot of assumptions about me. So make a lot of assumptions or make an assumption. Another example, You're making a lot of assumptions for which you have no proof, or your argument is based on a set of questionable assumptions, or she's always making assumptions about how much money people have, or we're working on the assumption that the techniques are safe, or I set the table for 8 people on the assumption that Joe would come. I thought that Joe would come. Or assumptions about how women should behave. For assumed, remember we said assumed means not real or not true. An assumed air of indifference, or he traveled under an assumed name. Assumed name means he used a false name while he was traveling. All right, next group, next category, we have mechanized, mechanism, mechanized, mechanical, mechanically, and mechanistically. Well, everyone, mechanize means to automate, to use a machine to do something, to use a machine. Mechanism means part of a machine or a set of parts that work together, or it can mean a system. So mechanism can be a system, everyone, a system. Then we have mechanized, which is an adjective, mechanized. Everyone, mechanized is an adjective. It means automated. For example, it means a mechanized system or a mechanized process. Yeah. So mechanized, automated, which means a mechanized, for example, a mechanized system or process. It has machines instead of people. It is kind of automated. So, a mechanized system uses machines, not people. Mechanical, which is another adjective, means affecting or involving a machine or using the power from machines. Then the adjective is mechanically, so mechanical and mechanically. Mechanistic, everyone, mechanistic is an adjective, which means tending to explain the behavior of things as if they were machines, so mechanistic. And mechanistically means in a mechanistic way, So when we do something mechanistically, we're not thinking about it. We do it like robots, like machines. And the collocations, we have locking mechanism in cars, for example, firing mechanism in guns, weapons, effective mechanism that works well is effective, complex mechanism, which is complicated. We activate a mechanism, we make it active, we control it, or we regulate it. We regulate mechanism. We set rules to control it. We have mechanized farming. Think of farming in which we use machines, we use vehicles. Mechanized army, they say armed to the teeth. They have a lot of equipment, modern weapons, and mechanized methods, ways. Now, example time. For mechanize, mechanize. So mechanize is a verb. It means to use a machine. For example, farming has been mechanized, reducing the need for labor. Mechanism is a noun. We say the brake mechanism or a clock mechanism, or remember it means a system too. For example, we say existing mechanisms for decision making, or we say the army has set up mechanisms to help jobless ex-soldiers. Yes, so the army has set up mechanisms. Then we have the mechanism of the brain, or the door locking mechanism doesn't work. Remember, we had locking mechanism. We say the door locking mechanism doesn't work, or an effective mechanism for enforcing the rules, or the system provides a mechanism whereby information is channeled into the market, or the mechanism of regular general elections, or the mechanism for dealing with complaints. Well, mechanized is the adjective form, which means automated. For example, car production is now highly mechanized. They rarely use human beings. Yeah? It is highly mechanized. Mechanical, for example, the flight has been cancelled due to mechanical failure. Because of mechanical failure, it is related to machines. There's something wrong. Or the plane had to make an emergency landing because of mechanical problems. Or everyone, we have mechanical diggers or mechanical devices. The adverb is mechanically. The adverb is mechanically. For example, we say the actors spoke their lines mechanically, hardly caring about the meaning. Mechanically. Or I'm not very mechanically minded. It means I'm not good at understanding how machines work or operate. Well, mechanistic as an adjective, everyone, means behavior that is not natural. It looks robotic. For example, we have a mechanistic view of the universe, or when people behave or act mechanistically, they just act without thinking. They look just inconsiderate. Okay. The next words, we have wow and wow, both as a noun and as an adjective. So, as a verb. So, as a noun and as a verb. Well, wow as a verb means to make a promise, or as a synonym we can say promise, just promise. As a noun, again, it means promise or a religious promise. So, promise. The collocations, everyone, we make or take a vow, you break or you keep a vow. We have marriage vows and holy vows, sacred religious ones. A vow of silence, silence, you decide not to speak, and vow revenge, revenge to harm someone because they have done something wrong to you. So, our examples. For example, we say vow to do something. Supporters have vowed to continue the protest until Adam is released. Or vow that. I vow that I would never drink again, I promise. Or vow as a noun. Jim made a vow or took a vow that he would find his wife's killer. Or remember, vow means a religious promise. For example, we say a monk who has taken a vow of poverty, who has promised God to live in poverty. And we had marriage or wedding vows, or wedding vows. So some more examples. I made a vow never to go near the place again, or take a vow again means make a vow. Priests have to take a vow of obedience to the Catholic Church, or you keep a vow, it means you do as you promised. She kept her vow not to tell anyone about the affair. Or break a vow, it means you fail to do what you promised. She accused him of breaking his marriage vows. And we have marriage or wedding vows, everyone, when you get married. She wrote her marriage vows or for vow of silence. Unfortunately, they broke their vow of silence. All right, next we have commit, commitment, committed, uncommitted, non-committal, absolute commitment or complete commitment, strong commitment, professional commitment related to professions, jobs, public commitment, personal related to individuals, degree of commitment or level of commitment, require commitment or take commitment and meet commitment, and we commit murder or arson. Commit murder means to kill someone, to murder someone, and arson means set something or somewhere on fire. So, everyone, commit means to do something wrong, something illegal. For example, women commit fewer crimes than men. Yeah? Or we commit murder, or we commit arson. For example, Brady committed a series of brutal murders. We say commit suicide, everyone. For example, he just committed suicide. It means he killed himself. Commitment as a noun means a promise to do something or to behave in a special way. For example, are you ready to make a long-term commitment? For example, to promise to stay with us, to work with us? Or our company has a commitment to quality and customer service. Chitsazan Language Institute, everyone, has a commitment to quality and customer service, student service. Or I'm impressed by the energy and commitment shown by the players. or her commitment to work is beyond question. He's very committed. We have lack of commitment or level of commitment. Or the Prime Minister made a firm commitment to increasing spending on health, or to demonstrate a commitment to human rights. Learning to play the violin requires strong commitment, or the government has managed to gain the commitment of employers to the scheme, or the government avoided giving any commitments on pensions, or his lifelong commitment to the social issues, for example, or I don't want to take on any more commitments, or she can't meet her financial commitments. Committed, the adjective, means dedicated. They mean willing to work hard, committed. For example, the party has a core of committed supporters, committed, dedicated supporters. Or we are fully committed to equal opportunity policies. We are committed to provide good service, everyone here in Chitsazan Language Institute. Uncommitted means not having decided or promised to support someone or something. For example, uncommitted voters, they haven't decided who to vote for. Or so far, they are uncommitted to his plan. Uncommitted. The other adjective form is non-committal. Non-committal. Non-committal, everyone, means deliberately not expressing your opinions or your intentions clearly. For example, the doctor was non-committal about my mother's chances of recovery. He didn't express it clearly, or the driver mumbled a non-committal reply. He said something, but it wasn't clear. Next, we have randomness, random, randomly, be random or seem random. We have a random sample, a random selection, a random number, random checks or random tests, random violence. So, everyone, random as an adjective means happening or chosen without any plans, aims, or patterns. For example, the company has introduced random drug testing of its employees, or a few random shots were fired, or we looked at a random sample of 100 families, or a random selection of women who were in the shop. The adverb form is randomly, and the noun form is randomness. For example, 7 randomly chosen numbers. So a random number and randomly chosen numbers. Or a random sample. For example, a test was carried out on a random sample of the cattle, of the cows. So a random sample or random selection. He looked at a random selection of the files. Or we have a random number. Pick a random number, please. Choose a random number. We have random checks or random tests. He believes the police should be able to carry out random breath tests for drunk driving, random breath tests. And randomness, as I told you, is the noun form. Well, next we have leash, unleash, the noun again leash, have or keep someone on a leash, and off a leash. Well, everyone, leash as a verb means to put an animal, especially a dog, on a leash to just control it. Leashes are usually made of metal or leather. Leash. To unleash has two meanings. One is to let a dog free, to set free after it has been held on a leash. The other, when you unleash a feeling, when you unleash a force, a sense, it has a full effect. Okay, leash and unleash. For example, his comments unleashed a wave of protest. His comments caused, unleashed a wave of protest. Remember, we have off a leash, and by the way, we have on a leash. For example, at her side on a leash trotted a small gray dog. So on a leash, keep your dog on a leash. Never leave your dog off the leash outside the store. So on a leash and off a leash. And when we keep or have someone, everyone, on a leash, it means we control them. We control them. For example, Marcus keeps you on a short leash. Yeah? Or some people, some women nowadays, they try to keep their husband on a leash. Not a good idea, of course. Next we have measure, measurement, the noun form, another noun, measure, measurable, immeasurable, measureless, measurably, immeasurably, immeasurable hunger. Hunger is the noun form of hungry. Relief, when you're not anxious or worried anymore, you have this feeling of relief. Yes, or suffering, experiencing pain. Effective or necessary measure, action, and take measures. You take action. Now, let's check out the meanings and provide some examples. So, measure as a verb means to find the size of something, the length, size, or amount of something. For example, the rainfall was measured over a 3-month period. We measured the rainfall. Or we measure someone for something to find the size. For example, she was measured for her wedding dress. Or we can measure the energy that food provides in calories. Measurement, everyone, means the length, height, width of etc. of something. For example, waist measurement, chest, leg, etc. measurement. What's your waist measurement? Or we take or we make measurements, we measure something. Measure as a noun means an action, a step we do to deal with something. So measure means action, step. Measures are being taken to reduce crime in the city. So we take measures to do something. We have drastic measures, extreme, tough measures. For example, drastic measures to reduce traffic problems. New safety measures were being demanded after last night's terrible train crash. So last night's terrible train crash. Or the new bridge was built as a temporary measure to replace the one which was destroyed by floods. Or we take measures. When we take measures, we do something in order to deal with a problem. We were taking measures to improve the situation. Measurable as an adjective means noticeable. So when something is measurable, it is large or important enough, it is noticeable. For example, the law has had little measurable effect since it was introduced 2 years ago. So the effects have not been so noticeable. Or when something is measurable, it means we can measure it. The opposite is immeasurable, which means we can't measure it. For example, measurable results. The adverb forms, everyone, for measurable is measurably, for immeasurable is immeasurably. For example, for measurably, the company is working to make its environmental performance measurably better. Well, immeasurably means something is too big, too extreme to be measured. For example, the refugee problem has now reached immeasurable proportions. It is too big, it is severe. Or immeasurably, your Spanish has improved immeasurably, a lot. And the last one, revenge. Everyone, we revenge for or against, or we revenge on somebody or something. We have in revenge for something, or take or get your revenge. We seek revenge, or want or vow revenge. Seek means look for. By the way, the past form is sought. S-O-U-G-H-T. S-O-U-G-H-T. And we have a terrible or an awful revenge. So, revenge as a word means to punish someone, to harm someone because they have done something bad to you, they have done something to harm you. Yes. For example, to revenge a death or to revenge a defeat, to be revenge injustice. Or the red team revenged themselves on the blue team by winning the semi-final. So revenge themselves on. Or she took or she got her revenge on him for leaving her by smashing up his car. So she took or she got her revenge. Or he is believed to have been shot by a rival gang in revenge for the shootings last week. Or she wanted revenge for the insult. Or at his wife's funeral, he vowed revenge. He promised revenge against her killer. Or the Australians took revenge for their defeat here last time. We have a revenge match. He dreamed of taking revenge on his father's killers. Louise eventually got her revenge by reporting him to the Immigration Service. One day, I'll have my revenge. For Seek Revenge, they play two women who seek revenge on their former partners. Uh, you broke her heart and now she wants revenge. We vow revenge, we promise to take revenge. His supporters vowed revenge for his death, and we have a terrible or an awful revenge. Caesar returned to Rome to take a terrible revenge. Okay, enough examples, I hope. Now, exercise 2B. Cross out the incorrect collocation. X out. Leave out the incorrect collocation. So, number one, everyone, let me read out the correct collocations. Take vows, make vows, and break vows. Do is incorrect. Number two, take revenge, seek revenge, and want revenge. Make is incorrect. Number three, a set of assumptions or a number of assumptions. So a set of, a group of, a number of assumptions. A group is incorrect. So a set of and a number of assumptions. Number four, complete separation, total separation, which means complete separation. And we have physical separation. Huge is incorrect. Number five, random sample, random selection, and random random number. Sorry. Road is incorrect. Well, everyone, this is the end of our second episode of Unit 2. Hope you enjoyed our program. Thanks for accompanying us. Until next session, have a good time. Take care.